This has been a heavy day. You are not alone here. In this quiet moment, we walk with God together. This is a quiet place to rest with God. There is no sermon waiting for you here, no checklist, no performance required, just this. A few quiet minutes to breathe, a few minutes to remember that you do not have to carry everything alone. Stay with me for a few minutes. There is rest waiting here. You have been holding so much, and I think part of you already knows that. Part of you came here tonight because the weight finally got heavy enough to notice. Maybe the day started normally enough. You got up, you moved through the routine, you answered the first messages before you were fully awake, and by mid-morning, the list had already grown longer than you could finish. By afternoon, you were running on momentum and obligation, and by evening, you were still going, still responding, still holding it together, because that is what you do. You are the one who keeps going, the one who figures it out, the one people count on, the one who does not drop things. And today you did not drop anything. You held it, but something in you is very, very tired. You are allowed to stop right here, right now. Not after you finish one more thing. Not after you check one more item off the list. Here, because rest is not a reward for finishing. Rest is something you are allowed to have simply because you are human. Simply because God made you that way. Let that settle for a moment. Think about the moment in the car after a long work day. You finally pull into the driveway and just sit there for a second. The engine ticks as it cools. The music is off. Nobody is calling your name. The notifications are still. And for just a moment, before you go inside and become someone's person again, before the questions start, you are just still. Your hands rest on the steering wheel. Your eyes are not focused on anything, and there is this small exhale, not dramatic, not a release of something massive, just a breath that goes a little deeper than the ones before it. That moment, that small, honest exhale, that is what this space is. Or maybe you know a different feeling. The dark, quiet room late at night. The house is finally still. Everyone else has settled into sleep. And you are lying there in the dark, too tired to sleep, but too wired to stop. Your mind is still running, still processing the day, still replaying the conversation that went sideways, still tallying the things left undone, still scanning for what you might have missed. You pick up your phone, not because you need to, just because the silence feels too full. You scroll without really seeing. The screen is bright against the dark room. You are not even absorbing the content. You are just moving, just doing something with your hands, because stillness feels harder than motion. And somehow you landed here, in this quiet, with this voice, with something that is not demanding anything of you. You found this, and I am glad you did, because God meets us in exactly these places, not in the moments we have polished ourselves for church, not when we arrive with our best faith, not when we have had the quiet morning and the clean heart, but here, in the tired, in the scrolling at midnight, in the almost breaking. That is not a coincidence. That is an invitation. You are still here. That matters. Let me ask you to do one simple thing, not a task, not a goal, nothing to achieve, just this. Let your shoulders drop. You have been carrying them up near your ears. You may not have noticed until just now. Let them fall. Let your jaw soften a little. Most of us hold tension there without realizing it. Let your hands rest open wherever you are sitting or lying. You do not have to hold anything right now, not even this prayer. Just receive it. Let it come to you. There is a verse from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Let that sit for a moment. Come to me. Not come to me when you are better. Not come to me when you have sorted things out. Not come to me after this difficult season has passed. Come to me now. All you who are weary. If that word reached something in you, if you felt a small recognition when you heard it, then that verse was written for you, not for someone else, not for someone carrying something heavier, for you specifically tonight. Weary is not a character flaw. Weary is not a spiritual failure. Weary is not something you brought on yourself by not managing your time well enough or by not setting the right boundaries. Weary is what happens to honest people who care deeply and have been trying very hard for a very long time, and burden. There is no judgment in that word, only recognition. God is not looking at the weight you are carrying and calculating how much of it you put there yourself. He is not analysing which parts were your fault. He is not waiting for you to accept full responsibility before he offers any help. He is just looking at it and saying, bring that here. I will give you rest, not rest after you earn it, not rest as a reward for endurance, rest as a gift, offered freely, received simply by coming. And coming tonight looks like this. It looks like choosing to be still instead of reaching for the next distraction. It looks like letting yourself be quiet enough to hear something gentle. It looks like trusting that this is a safe place. There is a weight that builds slowly, so slowly you do not notice it happening. It begins with one extra thing, then another, then a season that is more demanding than usual, and you rise to it, because that is the kind of person you are. But the season stretches, and the demands do not decrease, and new things get added to old things, and at some point, the weight that was supposed to be temporary becomes the baseline, and you adjust. You recalibrate your expectations of yourself. You lower the bar on what rest looks like. You stop noticing how much you are carrying. because it has simply become normal. And from the outside, everything looks fine. You are managed, you are reliable, you show up consistently, you hold things together. But inside, something is quieter than it used to be. The things that once felt energizing now just feel like more work. The things that once brought genuine delight feel distant, like you can remember enjoying them, but cannot quite reach that feeling anymore. You move through your days, doing everything you are supposed to do, but feeling somehow not quite inside your own life, like there is a thin pane of glass between you and your own experience, like you are going through the motions with reasonable success, but something essential is not fully present, and you wonder sometimes if this is just adulthood, if this is just what life is now, if the version of you that felt more alive was naive or unsustainable. I want to gently say, it does not have to be this way. Not because things need to change drastically, not because there is a plan you need to execute or a routine you need to overhaul, but because the God who created you did not create you for depletion. He created you for something that includes rest. That is not optional for your health. That is written into the rhythm of creation itself. Rest was not added as an afterthought. It was built into the design. Take a slow breath. God sees what the daily accumulation costs you. He sees the long work day and the mental load that rides home with you after it. He sees the constant notifications pulling at your attention in the morning. He sees the scroll fatigue, the way you consume more and more and feel less and less satisfied. He sees the unfinished tasks that follow you into the evening and whisper at you as you try to sleep. He sees it not as a failure to be corrected. He sees it as something to be tended to with care, with patience, with the kind of gentleness you would extend to someone you love deeply. If they came to you looking exactly this tired, you would not give them another task. You would not tell them to figure out better systems. You would not point out what they could have done differently. You would say, "Sit down. You have done enough. Let me be with you." That is what God is saying to you tonight. Sit down. You have done enough. Let me be here. There is a real and important difference between genuine strength and the pressure to perform. Real strength is quiet. It does not need to announce itself. It does not need to be seen or acknowledged. It does not need to prove its capacity by never stopping. Real strength knows its limits and respects them. Real strength asks for help without interpreting that as failure. Real strength rests and returns without guilt. Pressure is something different entirely. Pressure is the noise that never quiets. It is the voice that says you are not doing enough. The voice that finds someone who seems to be managing more and uses them to shame you. The voice that translates every pause into laziness and every need for rest into weakness. That voice is very convincing. It sounds a lot like wisdom. It sounds a lot like responsibility. It can quote real obligations and real stakes. But it is not God. God does not drive you until you break and call it faithfulness. God does not measure your value by your output. God does not extend more love on the productive days than on the depleted ones. He loves you in this moment. Here, tired, imperfect, still here. And that love was present this morning before you had done a single thing. And it will be present tomorrow morning before you have done a single thing. Nothing you do or fail to do changes the fundamental fact that you are loved. Not as a concept, not as a theological position, as a daily, specific, unhurried reality. Let that be something you feel tonight, not just something you believe in theory. God is near in this moment, not as an idea, not as a distant theological certainty, as a presence in this room, in this quiet, in the space around you right now. If you are able, close your eyes for just a moment, not to perform something, not to arrive at a feeling, not to achieve a spiritual state, just to be still and acknowledge that you are not alone. The one who formed you is present with you right now. Not watching to see how well you pray, not taking notes on your spiritual performance, not building a case for or against you, just here. The way a parent sits with a child who has had a very hard day, not needing anything fixed yet, just present, just close, just there. That is where God is tonight. There is a psalm that has been carried in the hearts and mouths of people for thousands of years. People who were afraid, people who were exhausted, people who were grieving, people who were far from home, people who were exactly where you are tonight. Psalm 23 Verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Sit with that word, nothing. You lack nothing. There may be very real and pressing needs that feel present in your life right now. Real financial worry, real relational difficulty, real uncertainty about the future. And this verse is not pretending those things away, but it is making a deeper claim about the nature of the one who walks with you. The shepherd does not push the flock forward on a schedule. He leads them. He walks ahead and scouts what is coming. He finds where the water is still and cool. He brings them there, not because they earned it, but because that is who he is. And the sheep lacks nothing. Not because every hardship is removed from its path, but because the shepherd does not leave. When one wanders, he goes back. When one falls behind, he notices. When one is worn out, he tends to it before pressing on. He is not managing a flock efficiently. He is caring for each one. You are not a number in a large system. You are not too ordinary to warrant individual attention. You are not so far behind others that you get deprioritized. The shepherd sees you tonight, here, exactly as you are, and the promise of that verse is not that your life will become uncomplicated. The promise is that you will not walk through any of it alone. You lack nothing because you have that. Let us pray together now. God, we come to you tonight, not with answers, not with a polished presentation of our faith. We come to you with tired hands, with a full and heavy heart, with a mind that has been running too long without a real pause. You already know everything we are carrying tonight. You have seen every long day this week, every moment we pushed through when we wanted to stop, every morning we started already behind, every evening we ended carrying the weight of unfinished things. You have been present through all of it, and you did not look away, not once. So tonight, God, we come to be honest with you, not to complain about our lives, not to question whether you are good, but to stop pretending that we have this under control. We do not have this under control, and that is okay. We release it, we let it go, we breathe. We give you the mental load, the constant notifications pulling at our attention, the unfinished tasks that followed us home, the expectations we are struggling to meet, the pressure to appear steady when we are not steady. We give you the worry about tomorrow, the regret about yesterday, the fear that we are not enough for what is being asked of us, the quiet grief of feeling far from our own life. We hold out our hands and we open them. We are not giving up, we are giving over. There is a real difference there. Giving up says, I cannot do this. Giving over says, I trust someone greater than me. And tonight, God, we trust you. Not because we have everything figured out, but because you have been faithful through every hard season before this one. And we believe you will be faithful through this one too. You are safe in this moment. Feel that. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to prepare for it. You do not need to fully understand it before you let it be true. You are safe here because God is present, and in His presence there is no performance required, only you. Exactly as you are right now. There is a softening that happens when we stop trying to hold everything. It is not the giving up of a defeated person. It is the relaxing of an exhausted person who has finally found a safe place to set things down. It is what happens when a person who has been carrying something heavy sets it down, straightens up, and takes a breath. There is relief in it, and sometimes there is also a moment of feeling how heavy it was. Because when we are carrying something, we adapt to the weight, we brace for it, we reorganize ourselves around it, and when it is finally set down, we feel the weight more clearly than when we were carrying it. If that happens tonight, if something in you softens and something else surfaces, let it. That is not weakness. That is what it feels like when a person finally lets themselves be held. There is a verse from 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. All of it. Not the anxiety that feels socially acceptable, not only the struggles that fit within what you think prayer is for, all of it. Because he cares for you. That word cares is not casual. It carries the meaning of genuine, attentive concern, the kind that notices, the kind that does not forget, the kind that remains. Cast all your anxiety on him, your anxiety about money and what is coming financially, your worry about the people you love and whether they are going to be okay, your fear about what the next chapter holds, your grief about what has already been lost, your shame about the places you have fallen short, your exhaustion about today and about tomorrow, all of it. He is not overwhelmed by your weight. He does not grow impatient with what you bring. He does not hold it against you that you needed to hand things over. He takes it because he wants to, because you matter to him, not in a general sense, not as one face in a crowd of many. You, specifically, your particular life, your particular worries, the things that keep you awake, the things nobody else fully knows about. He knows. He cares. He is staying. You can rest here. There is no rush. There is no exit prompt. No next thing waiting to pull you forward. Just this quiet space. Just this moment. Just the simple, unearned gift of being held. You do not have to have it together. Not for God. Not here. Not tonight. The pressure to be unbreakable, the expectation that you will always hold steady, the voice that says needing rest is a sign of weakness. None of that is coming from God. God has never required you to be unbreakable. He has invited you to come to him. That is the whole invitation. Not to fix yourself first, not to sort out the things you know need sorting, not to get your life into better shape before you arrive, just to come. And you are here. So you have already done it. You came, and you are welcomed fully, without conditions. Without a review of what brought you here or how long it has been, just welcomed the way the father in the old story watched for the returning son from a distance and ran toward him while he was still far off. Not after the apology was complete, not after the rehearsed speech had been delivered, running. Before any of that, because the one he loved was coming back. That is the posture of God toward you tonight. Not waiting, not reviewing, not evaluating, moving toward you because you came. Let us come toward the close of our time. Before we I want to give you a few things to carry forward, not as burdens, as anchors. When the pressure rises this week, pause before you absorb it. Take one breath first, just one, and in that breath, Remind yourself of what is true. You are not alone in this. The weight is not entirely yours. The outcome is not entirely yours to control. There is one walking with you who sees what you are carrying. When the mental load feels unbearable, give yourself permission to put something down. Not everything on the list is equally urgent. Not everything expected of you was meant to be held by you alone. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to say, "This is too much right now." You are allowed to let something wait without that making you a failure. And when the voice comes, the one that measures you and finds you lacking, the one that says other people handle this better, the one that says you are falling short, remember the shepherd. He does not push, he leads. He does not leave the tired sheep behind, he tends to it. You are not too far gone to be tended to. You are not too ordinary to be worth the attention. You are exactly tired enough to need exactly what is being offered here. Rest. Presence. Love that does not wait for you to earn it. You are loved not because of what you carry. You are loved because of who you are. And tonight, you chose to come here. You chose to be still. You chose to receive something instead of produce something. That is a quiet and meaningful thing. In a world that will push you forward from the moment you wake tomorrow, you stopped tonight. In a space that measures worth by output, you gave yourself permission to simply be. That matters more than you may know. If this prayer touched your heart, feel free to share below. We read every message with care. God is holding this moment with you. Rest here, gently.